What's up, basketball fans? Welcome to the Ratch Report. It's time to talk about the Toronto Raptors because they are being linked to a particular free agent. I'm going to be discussing that in today's video, as well as talking about that player as well. So if you're ready to watch this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you wish to hit the subscribe button as well, that would be very much appreciated. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. Now, as you guys know, I do like to give out shout outs on my channel, and the shout out for today's video goes out to Todd Stevens. So Todd, thank you so much for supporting this channel. To your likes and comments, it is very much appreciated. And the player that the Toronto Raptors have been linked to is no other than a name we've heard a few weeks ago, and that is restricted free agent Ayo Dosumnu. Now, it comes as to no surprise that the Raptors are being linked to them, given their depth chart on the point guard position as well. But I'm going to play this little clip for you, which was being reported by 650 The Score, and it had something to say about Ayo and his future with the Chicago Bulls.
You got some information advancing the story a bit about a really popular Chicago Bull and what his future may or may not hold in Chicago.
Yeah, so I got some information. Well, we got some information that it is increasingly unlikely by the day almost that Ayo Dosumnu will not be back with the Chicago Bulls.
Wait, unlikely that he will be back.
Unlikely that he will be back, correct. This is from sources close to him. I don't think he doesn't believe he will be back either. And we were hearing Toronto is interested and is a likely option.
Now, first of all, the fact that the Chicago Bulls do not want to bring back a 23-year-old point guard that is as hardworking as Ayo says a lot, about the Chicago Bulls rather than the player. Ayo is an excellent player. On top of that, he's so young, and he fits into the mold of these new generation point guards where he's got amazing size at 6'5". He's athletic as well. So why would you not want to retain him? But obviously understandable. It seems like the Chicago Bulls want to go in another way. Even though he would be a great point guard for them, it seems like whatever the reason may be. But obviously this being linked to the Toronto Raptors isn't something that we have heard a few weeks ago. Now, quickly to give you a recap of Ayo here, you see here he's listed at 6'5", 23 years old, and he's very young. Look, he doesn't turn 24 until next January, and his point production was fairly good. 8.6 points, 2.8 rebounds, 2.6 assists, and he was doing this in, backup point guard position as well. I know his assists could be a little bit higher, but his field goal percentage is absolutely amazing. The Raptors need more of these type of players that can finish at the rim as well, but also just, shoot a high percentage from the field. Now, his three-point shot dipped a little bit. He did shoot much better in his first season with the Chicago Bulls in his rookie season, but he did improve on his free throw percentages at 80.5% as well. So I think having someone like an Ayo, man, like 6'5" point guard in today's modern NBA, who's athletic, who's a great defensive player as well, his three-point shot will get better, and he's obviously displayed that in his rookie season. I don't think this is a concern of where the Raptors are signing another guy that can't really shoot. Look, he's a good mid-range shooter. He's an excellent player. He's a very athletic, so he can soar in for some big dunks as well. And on top of that, he's a great defender. He's a great point of attack defender. He's got the speed, agility, and the athleticism to go and become a really good defender. He's already displayed that with the Chicago Bulls. He's also a great help defender as well. He comes in and blocks a lot of shots for a point guard. That's great to see. Now, in terms of sign and trade situations, so we do have to talk about this because the Raptors would have to give up something very likely. They have about $2 to $4 million in spending money right now, and clearly it's going to take more to pry Ayo from the Chicago Bulls for that much money. And I think realistically speaking, the Raptors have somewhere around the 8 to 10 million range where they throw at Ayo, maybe for a 3-year, make that third year a team option, and in that sign and trade, trade someone like a Chris Boucher, maybe a future second-round pick, considering that Ayo was a second-round pick himself. And look, this benefits both teams because the Chicago Bulls, even going into back into last season, they needed someone at the point guard position. They needed a little bit more size, which they did not have, and they get something like that in Chris Boucher, who's he's a much better three-point shooter than his percentages may display. He's also a good rim protector as well. So I think having him along with someone like a Nikola Vucevic really fits, well there. He can stretch the floor, so can Nikola as well. So it works really good for him, I think, in that sense. And if the Chicago Bulls just throw in a second-round pick. Now, I know the Raptors fans may not want to throw in any more picks considering how many we have already given up the past few seasons, but let me quickly tell you about Ayo. This is the perfect type of player for the Toronto Raptors, and I'm not just talking about his size. I'm talking about his work ethic, his interview. If you go and watch his interview, I don't know if it's still up on YouTube. I actually watched it when it was happening. Before he was drafted, he did an interview with ESPN. you could just tell with the way he speaks, he's a very intelligent person and obviously carries himself in a very respectful manner, which is something the Raptors really pride themselves on. So having someone with that size, having athletic ability, having defensive capabilities, and also being as well spoken as he is and a hard worker like he is, you should absolutely sign him quickly as possible. Now, obviously, I can understand why it's delayed a little bit because the Raptors obviously are dealing with all sorts of Pascal Siakam rumors as well. But again, if you're signing him to that deal, it's not like it's really affecting your salary. Chris Boucher is also making around the $11-12 million range as well. So you're really making a few million less. It's in fact, it's giving you a little bit more money to work with here. So again, I think this would be an excellent signing for the Toronto Raptors. And I was just thinking this morning that, the Raptors did sign Dennis Schroeder. But one thing the Raptors have constantly done, even dating back, 8 years ago, when the Raptors have always had some sort of prospects in the point guard position. When you look at DeLon Wright, Fred VanVleet was the undrafted one as well. So you always had some sort of prospects up and coming, or at least in your system there, just in case, you can develop him, you can bring him up as well. And I'm really high on Malachi Flynn, guys. Don't get me wrong, but I believe he's about to be 25 years old. And it's a big mystery for a lot of people as to what we're going to expect from him heading into next season as well. So again, it'll be interesting to see, Ayo in the Raptors system. He's a hard worker. And that is something the Raptors system has always been about in the last several years as well. Even though, Nick Nurse has really shunned the development a lot of the younger players, I think this would be a nice fit for the Raptors. And you have finally a young point guard in your system, which you can work, So again, this would be nice for the Raptors, and also just a backup position as well for, Dennis Schroeder as well. So I think this would be great. Excellent sign and trade for the Raptors. Again, it depends on how much the Chicago Bulls value him, but clearly it doesn't seem like they value him highly enough to re-sign him. So it would be a good signing for the Raptors, and Chris Boucher heading there would be good for the Chicago Bulls as well. But what are your thoughts on this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, I do have a trivia question for you today. And that trivia question is, which two teams played each other in the 1983 NBA Finals? Hard to believe that's 50 years ago. And yes, even though that was before I was born, 1983 was 50 years ago. Was it A, the Lakers and the 76ers? Was it B, the Lakers and the Celtics? Was it C, the Bucks and the Lakers? Or was it D, Celtics and Pistons? So whoever answers this trivia question correctly first in the comment section gets a shout out in my next video. So that will be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the likes. And if you're still watching, guys, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well. And with that being said, guys, I do hope you have a great day.